Hi Stampers, it's Elizabeth again, and I am back. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Canada. Canada represents because this weekend we are celebrating Canada Day. July 1st, if you don't know, is Canada's birthday. So I'm representing with my bobbly maple leaves. I'm here with the Cheerful Daisies, and I have to thank Susan Campfield for this because if you follow her, you might have seen this card a few months ago. Not the card. Hey, Joy. Oh, thanks, Joy. You might have seen this card a few months back, the style of it, not the card. But I'm changing it up to use the Cheerful Daisies, and I love how it turned out. I just get so excited when a card turns out, and I know I'm not the only one. So let's get started. I'm going to show you the components of this bundle and hopefully inspire you. So first off, I've got my catalog flagged here with all the pieces we're going to be using. So we are going to be using the bundle. To be honest with you, we're just using the dies and one sentiment. No, we're going to use this stamp as well. So if you just wanted to get the dies, you could make this card and use a sentiment that you have on hand, but it's a great bundle. We are also going to be using the Countryside Inn Designer Series paper. No, we are not going to be using the coordinating Fresh as a Daisy paper. We're going to be using Countryside Inn. Oh boy, in the 90s, Wedgwood Blue was my favorite color, so I'm very happy about this, this paper. We're also going to be using the 2023-2025 in color dots right here. And we're also going to be using the embossed brick 3D embossing folder. Love, love, love this embossing folder. Absolutely love it. So those are what we're going to be using. As a reminder, I think we're all still at the June 30th. This is the end of the Designer Series paper sale, and it's also the end of the Join Now sale. So those are two things. If you were interested in, please contact your demonstrator that's invited you here. And as I said, we're going to be using the Countryside Designer Series paper, which includes the colors Balmy Blue, Boho Blue, Misty Moonlight, and Night of Navy. Since Wedgwood Blue back in the 90s was one of my favorite colors, this makes me happy. I don't mind telling you, it makes me very happy. And this is the embossing folder that we're going to be using. All right, this is the stamp set, and I just want to share with you some coordination. This is a standalone, but this die will cut out that. This die will cut out that and that. This die will also work on that. You've got to get them around the right orientation. I eventually will get it there. This is a standalone, the fern, I guess, whatever you want to call it. This is standalone banner die. This will cut out this one like that. This will cut out this one, I think. This one will cut out this one. Oh, this one actually will cut out that one. That one goes there. This one goes here. That one goes there. This will cut out this leaf. And then this will cut out this centerpiece. This one will cut out that centerpiece. And this one will die cut out that one. So everything is taken care of other than the sentiments. And I love when that happens. So let's just put these all back here before I lose something, and I'll put those all away properly afterwards. And I'm going to show you the card because I love it. I love it. This is the card that we are going to be making. And it stands up like this. And I think Susan called it, not sure of an eagle or a seagull fold. And I just love how it turned out. Showcases off that beautiful Designer Series paper and some really pretty elements. So my Fun in the Sun is, it's a fun fold, and we've got daisies, which are happy and sunflowery, right? or our sunshine. So that's my fun in the sun. I'm kind of stretching it a bit as the fun in the sun theme, but I think it works. All right, so let's get started. And we're going to do a little bit of coloring with the blend, with the brush, some tearing, some splattering, some coloring here, just a little bit of everything. The colors that we're going to be using, I guess I should tell you up front, are Garden Green, Night of Navy, and Crushed Curry. And I will give you some measurements. This is uses up a lot of cardstock, so it's not it's more than one sheet of cardstock, just so you know. So I've got 2 pieces of the boho blue. Yes, I had to go at one of these, but it didn't fit in the standard envelope. Hoping yours. Oh, yes, mine does. It does fit in a standard envelope if you're if you're in North America. So it fit in a standard envelope for me. All right, so I've got a hair here. Let me get rid of that. All right, so I've got 2 pieces that are 4 1/4 by 8 1/4. All right, so they're 2 pieces of boho blue. Each one of them is scored at 2 1/8, 4, and 6 1/4. So they're both scored the same. And let me just, yeah. And then this one, I'm going to flip that way. Okay. I think I've got that right. And I'm going to do this now. I'm going to fold this a mountain, valley, mountain, valley, valley. Mountain, valley, valley. Do need my bone folder for this. There we go. So let me get this one out. So mountain, mountain, valley. I'll show you once I have it folded, so because I want to make sure I've got it the right way, and then another valley. Like that. Okay. Yep, mountain, valley, valley. And on this side, we're going to do the same thing, but in the opposite direction. So this one's a mountain, valley, and valley. You know, I had this done earlier in the week, and I must say that I'm usually a last minute Nelly. And sometimes that works better for me because by the time I come to present, it's like, oh, what the heck was I supposed to do? I don't know if anybody else is, if anybody else is the same, but that's me. So there we have 2 that are like this. All right. And now they're going to be like that. It's really important to make sure, I like my grid paper, that they are straight on both sides. And then I'm going to take another piece of the boho blue that is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And I am going to adhere it down like this. We're going to leave a little bit. See, I'm not straight here, so I want to make sure this is straight. I didn't crease that properly, so just give me 1 second. While I make that crease better. Has that ever happened to anybody else? You just crease it a little bit askew and it just will affect everything. There we go. Come on. See, I was askew a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now the goal is to have them, make sure I've got the right side up. Yep. And that's the side. Yep. Okay, so those are and it's going to be butted against like that. So you're going to have these 2 wings. Then this is going to go on top like that. You're going to have about 1/8 of an inch on either side, but it's important that it's matched top and bottom because it's the same height, right? 4 1/4. So let me get out my Tombow glue. I had a fairly new one. Tombow glue, as everybody says. A few of us prepared much earlier than usual. Yeah, I know. I'm not usually, I'm a last minute Nelly, and it makes it hard when you're presenting because you forget what you do. So I'm just going to put adhesive on here. I'm using Tombow glue just for that, as we always say, the wiggle room. And I'm going to put this one down, and I'm going to make sure it's flush north and south. Make sure I don't have my head in the way. It's flush north and south, and you're just going to put maybe 1/8 of an inch on the side here. And when you've got it matched up, it really doesn't matter if you don't have exact on either side, as long as it folds okay. And now I am going to, I found it easier to flip that over and put more adhesive on this side. Make sure I got it right. And now I'm going to butt these two up. Again, using my grid paper. Anybody else a grid girl? A grid paper girl? I love my grid paper. And like this. And then just burnish that in. And folks, really, that's the card. Now you're just decorating it. Isn't that like super simple? That is basically the card. Okay, so let's put that aside for a minute. And I'm going to take the front panel. So the front panel is 4 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. I didn't want too big of a band around, and I've done that with all of the panels. You'll see here, like, I don't have a really big border. I've just left it at 1/8 instead of, yeah, Joy loves her grid paper too. Yeah, I left the border really thin. I just liked it. I like it better for this card. So I'm going to put that aside. And so I've got this. And I am going to take a piece of the crumb cake that was run through the embossing folder. And this is 3 inches by 4 1/8. 3 inches, yeah, 3 inches by 4 1/8. And I'm just tearing it. It's been so long since I've done any tearing techniques. I don't know about you guys. There are techniques that come and go, and you pick them up a little bit later, and it's like, oh, the tearing technique. I love this. And it's going to go in the middle. Now, if you wanted to, you could burnish the edge here, or put some color on it, like some soft suede. What did I use? Crumb cake. I've used crumb cake on it. Or I have, it looks like it's green, but it's not. It's actually early espresso and rubbing alcohol. And let me just get a piece of cardstock here so I don't wreck everything. And I am going to spritz this. I'm going to spritz it so that it becomes a little bit wet, and so that it has extra texture, which is okay. If you want to, you can squish it up like that to give it added texture, because it's wet now, right? And I am just going to leave that aside to dry. Actually, I almost forgot to do that. So I'm going to leave that aside to dry. What am I going to do now? I'm going to bring out my Night of Navy ink and the sentiment, which is wishing you the brightest birthday. And I die cut one of the tags, and I'm doing this now because it's Night of Navy, and we all know Night of Navy, whew, sometimes is hard. It smudges and takes a bit to dry. So I am going to stamp this now and just put it aside while I do other stuff. Okay, wishing you the brightest. I love this font. Anybody else? Isn't that a gorgeous font? Love it in the Night of Navy. I'm going to put that aside. And I'm going to put that aside. Now I have already die cut out the 3 flowers here. And I'm going to use my Balmy Blue. And I die cut them out in Balmy Blue. So you'll see I'm using lots of different blues in this project. And I'm going to bring this back up and flip that over. And I just want to give a little bit of added detail to this. Now, if you wanted to, you could stamp these But folks, you don't really need to, because look at the detail on it. It's got great detail. So I'm just going to take my blending brush, and you know how you usually start off. I really don't care because I'm just dirtying up the edges a bit, just to add a little bit extra detail. To me, it's the detail makes the card. It's that little extra that you put into a card that takes it from a card to a work of art. How's that? Work of art. And I'm just putting ink on the tips of those flowers. And the reason why it's sticking is because I used the adhesive sheets, and I'm going to show you what I did so that they'll be easy to adhere down onto the card. So it just colors the edges a little bit, gives it a little bit more detail. Okay, I think that was it for that one. Okay, so I'm going to put those aside, and I can get rid of this again. All right, this is almost dry. So now I'm going to bring this back, and I am going to adhere this down like that. I'm not a grunge girl. I love the look of grunge. I don't know if anybody else is the same way. I love the look of grunge, but I can never pull it off. So this is about as grunge as I will get. And I think it turned out nice. So. And I'm just going to put this in the middle. Like, if you don't want to have the rubbing alcohol and re-inker, if you don't want to do that, you don't have to do it. It's just all personal preference. And I'm just cutting off the excess, because I always cut a little bit more than is needed. Okay. There we go. I should have poked everything out, but I didn't. So I have already die cut out the big daisy. Or are they daisies? Yeah, daisy, the big daisy. Using this one here. And I've cut it out using the Basic White Thick. Because I wanted to have a little bit of stability, because it is going to be popped up. And if you want to, you can poke out all those centers. The original card I didn't poke them out, and it's up to you. But I don't want this, so I am trimming this off. So just because it's there doesn't mean you have to have it, right? And as I had mentioned earlier, I used the adhesive sheets on the back here. Now it's really fiddly, I'm going to be honest, really fiddly to get these on correctly. And I did have, where did I? Oh, here we go. That one. So for this big one, there's this lone, there's this lone petal right here. And if you match it up with this one here, which is a lone petal, if you match it up with that lone petal, so this little one, if you match it up with that one, it will match. So I am now going to peel off the backing. Okay. You could use the fine tip glue, or the Tombow glue. The multi-purpose Tombow glue works as well. And I'm just going to put that down and match that up. So you'll see that lone one there, and it matches up like that. This one's going to match with that one. Like watching paint dry, peeling off the pieces. There we go. Like that. And then this one, there we go. I'm the last one for today, and then we'll start back up again tomorrow. Check the schedule for your time zone. There we go there. Now what I want to do, I'm going to do stamp the centers, and I'm using crushed curry, and I'm not being very particular. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm taking this, oh, here we go. I'm taking the large one. Oh, no, sorry, the small one. And I'm stamping after the fact. And it's okay. It's a flower. And like that. It's a flower. It's okay if it doesn't match perfectly. All right, so there we've got that. And now I am going to pop that up. If you watched my last presentation, I pop up the cards, put on the embellishments, and if need be, put on the extra postage to mail it to somebody, because it's a work of art. Be proud of it, and somebody, whoever you're sending it to, is going to be very grateful that they received the card from you. You can use obviously the small dimensionals. I'm using up old dimensionals that I have. They're trying to get rid of partially used dimensional partially used dimensionals. I don't know if anybody else is like this, but I get so tired of all these half-used dimensional packages. I'm trying to use them all up. So this is an old dimensional. And put enough on there so that it's not going to go anywhere, but still has a little bit of freedom so that it's blowing, looks like it's blowing in the wind. And I think, what do you think? Like that? Oh, one thing I have to do. I have the stem. So this is the stem, and I'm just going to put 2 random stems down here. We've got the stamp set. Why not use them, right? So I am not even measuring. I'm just winging it. And it's going to be covered, so I don't even care if it's goes over this at all, because we're covering it up. And that's just in garden green. I like. So I think I might actually adhere this to the card now. Do I want to adhere it? No, I'm not going to. Because we're going to splatter, and I don't want to splatter the rest of the card. So let's adhere this first. You can put more dimensionals on it if you want. If you're like this. Love this card. Okay, and now I'm going to splatter. I have an old, love a good wing it. I wing it all the time. I have an old crumb cake marker. If you have any old markers that have seen better days but are still juiced, don't toss them away. Hold on to them for this type of thing, because they ruin your markers. That's first off. So I have a lot of old markers that I use this for. I even, some of my retired colors I still use just to do this technique. And I'm just going to take the brush end and the nib, or the cap, and I'm just splattering. Ooh, I like it when I get lots of blobs. You'll see how it really wrecks your markers. I want more in the middle. There we go. And so that's what it looks like when it is all splattered up. I know this is sort of a neat grunge, right? And now we are going to adhere that to the card. And again, we've got a little, just a tiny 1/8 border, I think, all the way around. Like this. If your top and bottom, when you're making this card, if when you mount it, the top and bottom are not totally even, just run it through the paper trimmer just to make it even, just if it doesn't match totally. When you put these two and then this on top of it. If it's not totally even, just run it through the paper trimmer. All right, so now we've got some designer series paper. So we have two pieces. This is the gingham paper again, and I had a little post-it note over here. Oh, it's this one. 4 1/8 by 2 1/8, and one is going to go on each panel like that. Like this. And again, it's I think it's a 1/8 border all the way around. But if you want the standard border, go for it. It's your card. It's all right. And then this one goes like that. And then we have two pieces. We've got one piece that's 4 1/8 by 1 5/8, and I am putting it here. And it's just coordinating paper, which is one of the things we all love about Stampin' Up's paper. And we're going to put it like that. And then we've got the same size, 4 1/8 by 1 5/8 in white. And that's going to go here. And that's where you're going to write your sentiment. Oops, that wasn't very smart, Elizabeth. There we go. Where you're going to write your sentiment. And I am going to put a piece of the fern on here as well. Or if you had a sentiment narrow enough, that would go there. And oops, I had a piece of fern. Oh, there it is. So I die cut out a piece of fern, and I also ran it through the with the adhesive sheet. This one is going to be very fiddly to pull off, but maybe not. But it will be, because it's very thin, it's easier to use than the Tombow glue. Cleaner to use than the Tombow glue. The adhesive sheets can be, I used to find them very intimidating to use, by the way. I don't know if anybody else did. And it kind of has to go on an angle because of the size of it. Oops, not that big of an angle. There we go. I'm going to squeeze that one over. If it's over, I am going to trim it off a little bit. Oh. There we go. So that's and then on the inside, on here and here, we have two more pieces that are 2 1/8 by 4 1/8. And again, coordinating designer series paper. You can choose whatever you want. I want the stripes to be going north and south. Like that. And then this one. And go on like that. All right, so there's the card, but now we have to put embellishments on it. So the wishing you the brightest birthday that I cut, or stamped and die cut out and stamped, I'm going to take a little bit of the linen thread. I'll be very upset if they ever get rid of linen thread. I don't mind telling anybody. I love my linen thread. And I struggle with this, guys. I'm just going to put it around my finger. And where's I want it on that side. I'm going to put a dimensional there. And a dimensional there. Oh, that worked out. That worked out. That worked out. And I'm going to put a couple more dimensionals on for good measure. Somebody, I think Joy asked about where she finds dimensional backings. Okay, I find them in my sheets. I don't know about anybody else. I don't have pets, but I do find dimensional backings in my sheets. And I'm going to put this on like this, try and get it straight. And then the last but not least, I am going to take the 2023-2025 in dots, these here, and I'm going to use one of each. So a big one, a medium one, and a wee in. And last but not least is just to let you know that if you place an order with your demonstrator that invited you here and using the host code, you will receive in the mail a thank you of a strip of embellishment. So contact your demonstrator for more information. And as always, I put this one here, I put it down further. So now I'm trying to figure out where's Martinette when you need her, because she's excellent at putting rhinestones down. There we go. Now, somebody asked about fitting into an envelope. I did have an envelope on my desk because, you know, I get excited when I do a card. And so I took the card to work. Oh, here it is. Oh, it's an old envelope. I took the card to work and I showed everybody at work. I just love it when a card comes together. So this is the one we just did. This is an old envelope from a swap card that I just got. And I'm going to put it in there and it fits. Mind you, the envelope is worse for wear. Come back up. That's me. That's my project. That's how it turned out. And it sits kind of like that. So thanks for joining us today. I am going to wrap up. So if you haven't had a chance to look at the videos, go back today and look at the videos. And all of the videos are also from past events, are in the albums. Check under media and then go into albums for all the past projects, because there's some pretty awesome ones there. And depending on your market, we will be back tomorrow. So check the schedule. And we hope you've been inspired, and remember to contact the demonstrator who invited you to this event for information on the show special, the Join Now, and the Designer Series paper sale. The Designer Series paper sale and the Join Now ends tonight. So wherever you are, June 30th, it's bye-bye. All right, take care, happy stamping, and we'll talk to you again next time. Bye.